Hello, kids. Happy New Year. Happy 2021. 新年快乐，元旦快乐. Today is the second day of 2021. Last year was a tough one for a lot of folks due to the COVID-19. I don't think I have to remind anyone. So let's hope we have a better 2021 than 2020. Today, I am reading something from Time magazine again. This is a good one. This is about our brains. This is about how people are speculating that the reason why we dream is to protect our brains. This is definitely college level stuff, maybe even grad school stuff. So, and it's a long one. So I intend to read at least half of it, maybe up to here. And this, we propose, is why we dream. Yeah, let me read up to here, maybe in 2 sessions. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Why we dream, a new theory on how it protects our brains. When he was 2 years old, Ben stopped seeing out of his left eye. His mother took him to the doctor and soon discovered he had retinal cancer in both eyes. After chemotherapy and radiation failed, surgeons removed both his eyes. For Ben, vision was gone forever. But by the time he was 7 years old, he had devised a technique for decoding the world around him. He clicked with his mouth and listened for the returning echoes. This method enabled Ben to determine the locations of open doorways, people, parked cars, garbage cans, and so on. He was echolocating, bouncing his sound waves off objects in the environment and catching the reflections to build a mental model of his surroundings. Retinal cancer, 视网膜的癌症，我还不知道视网膜可以得癌症嘞。Chemotherapy, 化疗 therapy 就是治疗嘛，对不对？化疗，辐射疗法。Surgeons, 动手术的医生才叫做 surgeons. He had devised the technique. 他创造了，发明了一个方式来解读、解密 decode. He clicked with his mouth and listened. Enabled, 容许他，让他来做什么什么事。He was echolocating. 他用声波来确认位置。字面翻译就是这个样子。Echolocation may sound like an improbable feat for a human, but thousands of blind people have perfected this skill, just like Ben did. The phenomenon had been written about since at least the 1940s, when the word echolocation was first coined in a science article titled Echolocation by Blind Men, Bats, and Radar. How could blindness give rise to the stunning ability to understand the surroundings with one's ears? The answer lies in a gift bestowed on the brain by evolution, tremendous adaptability. 用声波来确认位置，听起来好像是一个 improbable feat， 一个不太可能的一个成就跟成果。feat 成就成果，但是很多人已经很会利用这个技巧了。perfected，perfect 用作动词， 已经很完善了这个技巧了。The phenomenon had been written about blah 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 when the word echolocation was first coined. 当这个字是第一次被正式定名 coined 正式定名正式称呼 in a science article 不是在一个科学的杂志哈，讲科学这个杂志是斜体字，这是它的正式的学术文刊的名字 titled 看不见的人、蝙蝠还有雷达如何应用 echolocation。没有视觉、没有看不见的人是怎么样利用他的耳朵来理解他的周遭呢？有这个 stunning ability 不可思议的能力来做这件事呢？ The answer lies in a gift bestowed 赋予、赠予evolution 赠予我们的大脑就是什么呢？ Tremendous adaptability 我们非常厉害的适应的能力。Whenever we learn something new, pick up a new skill, or modify our habits, the physical structure of our brain changes. Neurons, the cells responsible for rapidly processing information in the brain, are interconnected by the thousands. But like friendships in a community, the connections between them constantly change, strengthening, weakening, and finding new partners. The field of neuroscience calls this phenomenon brain plasticity, referring to the ability of the brain, like plastic, to assume new shapes and hold them. More recent discoveries in neuroscience suggest that the brain's brand of flexibility is far more nuanced than holding on to a shape, though. To capture this, we refer to the brain's plasticity as life wiring. To spotlight how this vast system of 86 billion neurons and 0.2 quadrillion connections rewires itself every moment of your life. Modify 改良改善 the physical structure changes. Brain plasticity 就是我们的大脑好像塑胶一样，我们会改变形状。To assume new shapes, assume 这边不是假设哈，这边 assume 是 take on， 去接成，去变成一个新的形状 and hold them. More recent discoveries suggest that the brain's brand of flexibility 这个 brand 在这边不是讲品牌，它是讲它的方式，大脑灵活的方式呢，事实上是很细的，很有特色的。Then holding on to shape though， 而不只是说会改变形状，好像塑胶一样。事实上 brain 也不是改变形状，他们是利用不同的地方来做不同的事情。To capture this, we refer to the brain's plasticity as live wiring. 现场的重新接通电路，重新接线。To spotlight 就是探照灯，一个人在舞台上被一个灯光照着，就是被探照灯照着。写文章这个意思就是去强调什么呢？这个伟大的系统是怎么样 rewire itself every moment of your life. Neuroscience used to think that different parts of the brain were predetermined to perform specific functions. But more recent discoveries have upended that old paradigm. One part of the brain may officially be assigned a specific task. For instance, the back of our brain is called the visual cortex because it usually handles sight. But that territory can be reassigned to a different task. There's nothing special about neurons in the visual cortex. They are simply neurons that happen to be involved in processing shapes or colors in people who have functioning eyes. But in the sightless, these same neurons can rewire themselves to process other types of information. 我们以前认为呢，脑袋的不同的部分就是会去被指定去做不同的事情，但是最近的发现 upended 推翻了，推倒了这个旧的理解这个范例。assigned 以前呢会被指定去做一个特定的工作，比方说呢 the back of our brain 我们大脑后面是一个 visual cortex 视觉的表层，因为以前呢我们认为这个部分是专门处理视觉相关的讯息，但是一个特定的地方都可以被重新指定去做不同的事，搞了半天呢 neurons 没有什么特别的，它可以去做不同的事情。They're simply in the sightless 看不见的人呢，这些本来被指定做视觉事情的 neurons 可以被重新接线去处理别的讯息。Mother Nature imbued our brains with flexibility to adapt to circumstances, just as sharp teeth and fast legs are useful for survival. So is the brain's ability to reconfigure. The brain's life wiring allows for learning, memory, and the ability to develop new skills. 大自然赠予了，赐给我们的大脑有这个灵活性去适应新的各种情况，就好像别的动物跑得快的，牙齿很利的，可以有比较好的几率来存活。如果我们的大脑有这个能力去重新组合、重新配置，那么我们的大脑的 life wiring 随时随地在重新接线，会影响到我们，会容许我们学得好，记得更好，甚至是发展新的技巧。In Ben's case, his brain's flexible wiring repurposed his visual cortex for processing sound. As a result, Ben had more neurons available to deal with auditory information, and this increased processing power allowed Ben to interpret sound waves in shocking detail. Ben's superhearing demonstrates a more general rule. The more brain territory a particular sense has, the better it performs. Repurpose 被用来重新做一件事。Auditory 跟听觉相关的 auditory audible 你听得见吗？就是 auditory。所以这句话很重要。原来搞了半天，一个大脑，你花更多大脑的不同的范围来处理一个感官的讯息的时候呢，那个感官表现的就更好。Okay, this is where we stop today. Let's carry on with the second half later. The second half of the first half. Okay, later.